Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining me today in this, what will be a very valuable webinar in herbal treatments for weight loss. So this is really a wonderful subject for those people who are overweight, particularly those people who have stubborn weight issues. This will help you to see how to lose weight. Because there's a lot of misconceptions about weight loss. We tend to have a kind of simplistic view that if we just starve ourselves to get of calories, we'll lose weight. Or, of course, if we just beat ourselves up in the gym and burn it all off, we'll lose weight. And this is not always appropriate. We have a lot of fad and radical diets that can be very harmful, like no carbohydrates, no grains. And sometimes fasting is not very suitable for a lot of people. It can create more anxiety, or more nervousness. So there's no one treatment for weight loss. This is the main thing you need to understand. Anybody who's telling you that they have the treatment for weight loss obviously hasn't treated hundreds and hundreds of people like me, because you realize in time that, in fact, everybody has different causes to their weight gain. So that's the first thing you really want to ask me, and I'm going to answer it for you, is why am I gaining weight? That's the real question. People come to me all the time and say, how do I lose weight? How do I lose weight? And I say, you're asking the wrong question. And, then a little prodding, I get them to ask the correct question, which is, why am I gaining weight? Once you understand why you're gaining weight, you can start treating it. Because you have to understand there's many causes of weight gain. There's common causes, but there's many different types of reasons or causes. And that's the first treatment. For anybody, for any condition, the first thing we want to treat is the cause. We want to remove the cause. There's no point to be taking a diet, no point to starving yourself, no point to be going to the gym and working out if the cause remains. It's like anxiety. If you're drinking coffee all day long and you don't sleep, we know what the cause is. There's no point to take herbs and a hot bath at night, when you're drinking 3 or 4 cups of coffee in the day. You still have the causes there. So same for weight loss. We have to identify the cause. So first, let's start off with the most common cause. And often there's multiple causes, which makes it a little trickier. It's my job, of course. It's not treating weight loss is the problem. It's determining the causes of that person's weight gain. And there's sometimes 2 or 3 causes. The most common one is poor digestion. Now, not elimination necessarily, that's partial, but it's this digestion. How do you know if you have poor digestion? Simple. You're not hungry. You could go all day and not eat. Or if you eat foods, you feel heavy and sluggish. That's poor digestion. Even if you have food allergies, like, oh, I can't eat this, I can't eat that, I can't eat wheat, I can't have dairy, I can't eat this, that's poor digestion. Because if you can't eat a piece of bread with the rest of the human race, we're talking a good, healthy, sprouted, organic wheat, then you're not having good digestion. So, when people come back and they say, well, now I'm eating bread again. I say, welcome back to the human race, eating grains again. So you can't just eliminate something when you can't digest it. You need to fix your digestion so that digestion is strong and you're capable of digesting the food, and it doesn't turn into undigested food in your system, which is, type of metabolic toxins, which is leading to weight gain. So let's understand this a little bit more. When your digestion's low, you're not hungry, you think like, hey, I'm not even hungry. I'm not even eating much. I hear it every day. I don't even eat much. I'm still gaining weight. Well, if you're saying that, then digestion is part of your problem. And when my clients come back after a month and they say, I'm hungry now, and I'm actually physically eating more food than I was eating before, but I'm now losing weight, then we know digestion's good. You're burning it off. You're converting it over to energy, and it's not accumulating in you. So we're going to talk about how to resolve this in a moment. But let's move on to the next cause. The next common cause, is eating the wrong foods for your type. If you're a heavy person, heavy set person, in Ayurveda, we have Vata, Pitta, Kapha types. We have different types. And the Kapha type is a heavy, slow, sluggish, easiest to gain weight, full-featured, full-bodied person, a lot of muscle, a lot of extra fat, and a slow and easy to gain weight. So this type of person has to eat the right foods, or they will continue to gain weight. So you could be eating organic foods, you could be eating organic nuts, you can be eating organic protein bars. But if you're eating the wrong food for your type, like too much meat, that includes chicken and even seafood, but definitely red meat, then that may not be a suitable food for you. Like Kapha types generally don't do good with a lot of meat. They're going to do better with beans, lighter foods. So I wouldn't ever take one of these extreme or follow one of these extreme diets of having all meat or, all this excess protein. It's very dangerous. And even medical doctors know, like, the keto diet is not helpful, because it's just too much protein for the body. And this state of ketosis is actually harmful for the body. But we know that meat is building and strengthening, like dairy. It's animal protein. It's going to build muscle. But you have too much, you're going to keep building more muscle, more fat, and ultimately you're going to contribute to cysts, fibroids, and tumors are going to start growing on your body by having this much fat. And then, of course, you have liver problems, gallbladder problems, constipation problems, all from eating all this excess animal protein. Now, I'm not against animal protein. It's not my moral beliefs to impose on anybody else. But for Ayurveda, some people need animal protein. This type of person right above us, thin, light, dry, Vata, they need animal protein. They don't do good on a vegetarian diet. They need dark meat, and even some young women who are thin and underweight and having a heavy menstrual bleeding, they need some beef. So I'm not opposed to animal protein and even beef for the right person. It can be medicine. But if you're overweight, you're constipated, you've got any issues with cholesterol, then you can eliminate all the meat in your diet. We're going to talk a little bit more about the right foods to lose weight. But we can't go into too much detail because, everybody's a little different in Ayurveda, and some people can't digest it. But overall, we can think you have to have lighter foods, and also not just what you eat, but how you eat. Like snacking, eating at night, weight gainer. Snacking on nuts, weight gainer. Doesn't matter if they're organic nuts. Doesn't matter whether you grew them on your uncle's farm and they're the best nuts in the world. If you snack on them all day long, you're going to gain weight. If you eat slabs of cheese in between your meal, you're going to gain weight. If you have pizza at midnight, 10 o'clock at night, late at night, you're going to gain weight. Almost any food late at night is going to be a weight gainer. Snacking is mostly going to be a weight gainer unless it's a light food like an apple. Sweeter foods, dates, bananas, more weight gaining than, say, sour fruit, citrus, lemon, and lime. So you have to find the right foods that you can digest and are not going to gain extra weight. And that really needs to be adjusted on an individual basis. So the point is, you have to have the right foods for you, and digestion has to be good. Another cause, however, is just nerves. That's right. You could have nothing to do with your metabolism, nothing to do with your liver, nothing to do with your diet. It just could be anxiety. We see a lot of people after they've had trauma. They've had some trauma in their lives in the past, and then they tend to, eat a lot to make up for, this traumatic period that they had. Trauma, we could call it more like emotional eating, where you're eating out of emotional reasons. So that's another common reason for weight gain. Like, you just can't keep yourself out of the fridge. You just feel depressed, you feel sad, things like that. Then you start eating emotionally. And this is another cause. So we're going to talk about some herbs that can help you for this emotional eating as well. So that's a common cause. And if you're an emotional eater, you just can't seem to control yourself. The cravings are there all the time. You could have been a thin, underweight person your whole life, but because of nervousness, anxiety, maybe even trauma, you tend to want to eat all day long and graze. So in this, grazing is a weight gainer, snacking is a weight gainer, eating little meals during the day is a weight gainer, unless you're an athlete and you're really burning a lot of calories, working out, preparing. As a professional athlete, you can't have more than three meals a day. When you're trying to lose weight, you should have space between the meals so the body can burn the fat. Another cause, and we're going to try to address all these. I'm just getting through the causes first, because you really have to identify the cause. And you could have eating the wrong foods, poor digestion, and have nervous eating. You could have all three of these I've already mentioned. And then another common cause is liver congestion. If you've got fatty liver, high cholesterol, fried foods bother you, oily foods bother you, you feel tenderness in your liver enzymes tests have been high, it could be one of the reasons right there you're gaining weight. Because, the liver has a lot to do with fat metabolism, body's metabolism, overall ability to break down and digest foods, turning fat into fatty acids with the bile coming out in the gallbladder. So, your liver, gallbladder function, along with the healthy bile, is very helpful for weight loss. And if you don't have this bile coming out, you can be constipated. You can get candida or SIBO or yeast overgrowth, which creates more craving, more swelling. So poor liver function is very common, particularly when it's like stubborn weight loss, where the person's improved their digestion, they've improved their elimination, they've improved the eating habits, they're not snacking, you're following the routine, they're following the diet I recommended them, and they're still not losing weight. Generally, then we start treating the liver, and that will 9 out of 10 do the trick right then, is to help treat the liver. Now, of course, we have other causes like hypothyroidism. And what hypothyroid is when the thyroid gland is not producing these hormones that are supporting your overall metabolism. And we know our body gets warmer, we gain weight, we can lose hair around the eyebrows, we become more cold, we get constipated, whole metabolism slows down. So we just have to treat the thyroid gland. You don't need to starve yourself. You don't need to exercise in the gym. You don't need to do any of that, because the problem. If you went to the doctor and they're showing your thyroid numbers are low, the reason for your weight gain. You're ahead of it. You don't need to starve yourself, or we just need to take the right herbal treatment and improve your thyroid function. Simple. So try to identify first digestion, what foods you're eating could be wrong, how you're eating could be wrong, liver, nerves, and even hypothyroid. There's other conditions that can lead to weight gain, but I think that's sufficient for this talk, and digestion being the biggest culprit. And it's very confusing because people think, well, I'm not hungry. But that's the sign of the poor digestion right there, not hungry. So let's talk about plucking off these common causes. First of all, we'll start with digestion. So easy to fix your digestion. Stop snacking, stop eating at night. Put breaks between your meals. If you're a overweight, heavy person that can go all day without eating, just do 2 meals a day, like a early lunch when you're hungry, early dinner, you're done. No snacking in between. And then you can we use this, any type of ginger. Ginger is very good. Just ginger tea. Even just chewing on the ginger. I take this, you can take this ginger, just take a little piece. It's quite hot. Chew on that before the meal. That will get the appetite up, get the digestive enzymes going, get some stomach acids out. You start feeling burning hot, and then you eat. So you're more hungry before you eat, so you digest it better. So very important, particularly if you don't feel hungry. And then if you don't eat all day, then you start getting hungry at like 4 o'clock, and then you start eating, you start snacking, then you have dinner, and then you're just pigging out all to the night. So you're better off to not eat at night tonight. Everybody who's trying to lose weight, have soup for dinner, don't eat at night, and you're better to wake up in the morning a little hungry. And if you're not, chew on a little ginger. Just take a little ginger. Or as per Ayurveda, you get a little slice of fresh ginger, squeeze a little lime on it, or lemon, and then chew on it. Even a little pinch of pepper, and if you're, some people, we can use salt, but most people, we can just use a little pepper. There's peppercorns right there. So you can make a little tea, some ginger, some pepper, and fenugreek. Fenugreek's very good for blood sugar and also help with digestion. Those are all heating, warming herbs. And they come in our little tea right here. It says Kapha digestive tea. Stimulates digestion before meals, overcomes heaviness after meals, and helps with blood sugar. Very simple formula. It's in a peppermint base, so it tastes good. But there it is: ginger, cumin, cinnamon, fenugreek, cloves, and black pepper. And that'll just clear up your respiratory, get the digestion going, take away the heaviness after meals. You don't feel sleepy after meals. If you're feeling sleepy or heavy, then you got digestive problems. If you're gassy and a lot of flatulence, you have digestive problems. If you got a little bloating and swelling, you got digestive problems. You should really focus right there first. That makes me think that some people, particularly women, who have a belly think they're overweight, when in fact they're not overweight at all. They just have bloating from their own digestion. So you don't want to treat the person for being overweight or treat yourself for being overweight if you're not overweight and you're just having digestive problems. Sometimes we get people, or women in particular, they're thin, basically, thin face, thin hands, thin skin, tiny little feet, thin little legs, but they got this belly. So now they're fasting, juicing, all these things to try to lose it. But it's just digestion and constipation. Once you get the bowels moving, the belly comes right back down. So not only should the digestion be good, but you should also try to eliminate, take some herbs after the meal. I didn't even bring up any herbs for a colon here, but you got a lot of colon herbs that you can take at night. We have laxative tea. We've got, teas for vata, pitta, or kapha, the dry, hard stools. You can take castor oil at night. If you have sticky, heavy stools and you're heavy, you could take a little peppermint tea with senna at night. And we have many little formulas that we prepare. If you're not too constipated, you're going once a day, but you want to make the bowels, clean out a little bit, which is important, then you can take some triphala and some ginger at night. Triphala and ginger tea, just a mild colon cleansing. So you want to keep not only the digestion good, so you're hungry, but you want to keep the bowels moving. If you're only going to the toilet one time a day, particularly later in the day, then you're constipated. You want to have an early morning elimination. And so you got early morning appetite, and you're not waiting till 2, 3 o'clock to go to the restroom or eliminate this fecal matter from your colon, which is toxic. And while it sits there, it's creating autotoxicity, and often gives people skin problems and ultimately liver problems later in life. So first, fix your digestion by getting rid of the snacking, the eating at night, and have some ginger tea or kapha tea or cumin tea. If you have a lot of gas and bloating, then you can do cumin. If you're very sensitive to spicy foods, if you're a pitta prakriti, then you could have a coriander, fennel, and just a little and cumin tea, or maybe just a little ginger tea if you don't have much of an appetite. Oh, one more cause for weight gain is the pitta type, the person whose prakriti is warm and hot and has a strong appetite. Sometimes that strong appetite is the cause for the weight gain. They're just so hungry. Their metabolism's good. They're working good. They got a lot of energy, but they're just burning hot, hungry. So actually we use different herbs to try to tone down the appetite so they're not so hungry. And then we have to use a little more cooling herbs like fennel and coriander. We don't want to use ginger. If you're really hungry, we don't want to use ginger. If you're not hungry, we can use hot water with lemon in the morning. This is also nice. Ginger tea, as we spoke. But if you're real hungry in the morning, you're hungry already and you tend to be overeating, it's not even a craving, but just kind of a burning sensation, or you get acid reflux. This is another cause of weight gains. People who have acidity, heartburn, strong appetite, well, they got to keep eating or they get the acidity. So in those cases, you don't want to do the ginger or apple cider vinegar or lemon. No, we have to have more bland foods, no spices, so you got to finesse it with that type of person, because most people would want to lose weight. They need more stronger digestion and more heat, and the ginger works better. So when you have somebody who's really hungry and overweight, it's a little, and they're hot and acidity, it's a little trickier. Now you in Ayurveda you have a 2 dosha imbalance. You have kapha for the weight and you have pitta for the acidity. So you got 2 dosha problems. So you have to know what you're doing. That's why we have this formula here. It's called weight loss pitta. And basically it's for weight loss, but it's not hot and heating. So even the person has acid reflux and heartburn, they can still take this after the meals. Like our general weight loss formula, it's hot and heating. It's got ginger, pepper, and both of them have the main weight burning herbs in it, but one is hot and one is not. One's trying to reduce the appetite, while the other one's keeping the appetite strong. So that's a little tricky when you have somebody who has acidity and weight gain. You have to be able to finesse it a little more. And if you have a person who's actually a sensitive digestion, thin, but they've just put on weight maybe from just eating junk food for a year, but their face is thin, their hands are thin, they're actually this vata type here, nervous, anxious, and they tend to have a lot of emotional eating, craving, but maybe they were eating bad food for a long time, so now they put on weight, but they can't eat salads because the digestion isn't that good. And they can't even have trouble eating beans because digestion's not that good, because they have a weak digestion. So then again, it becomes a little more tricky because you have 2 doshic imbalance. You have the kapha for the weight, and you have the vata for the nervousness and the anxiety and the poor digestion. Again, you have to finesse that a little bit more. So mostly we're talking about the kapha type of person who's heavy, slow, sluggish, and put on weight most of their lives. That's the typical type in what I'm addressing here today. And then if it comes to liver, for liver, there's a lot of herbs we have for liver, and of course you can make your own with dandelion, milk thistle, burdock root, coriander, ginger, and a little cardamom in their liver tea, improving the bile, which will improve digestion, elimination, and detox the liver and improve its function. You may need to take 3, 4, or 5 bags, but you will see your liver will improve. And if you have high cholesterol, you should focus on that too, because that's also creating slower metabolism. And you're really treating the liver when you're treating cholesterol. There's our cholesterol formula: guggulu, buma malaki, kukti, moringa, and trikatu. So this will lower the cholesterol with a no meat vegetarian diet in just a matter of months. And so if you have cholesterol and fatty liver, you should really focus on those. If you have any liver issues, you should focus on those first to really resolve that issue first, because it doesn't take too long to resolve your cholesterol issues. The same if you got a lot of water retention and swelling. We should get this water retention down. So we just use a swelling formula here, Punarava. Punarava is one of the best weight loss herbs, and it's also a diuretic. So bringing water out of the body, and that will lose the weight right there. So sometimes when the client first comes, if they have cholesterol or a lot of swelling, I'll just focus on that first for the first month, because that's going to help them lose water as if they have swelling, and improve their overall metabolism if they had cholesterol or fatty liver issues. And just cooking, for most people, just cooking with more spices, ginger, cumin, coriander, will take away that heavy feeling. Again, kapha seasoning, you can see here, turmeric, coriander, cumin, and ginger, a lot of ginger in there, black pepper, mustard seeds, cinnamon, a little cayenne, and very little salt. So, we tell them to have beans, and cook it with this seasoning. It works very good. So, and then let's start thyroid. Thyroid is a blocked thyroid gland. So generally, it's also a kapha-reducing condition, but it's easy just to treat with the herbs. So you don't really have to radically change the person's diet. You want to get rid of unclogging foods or clogging foods like yogurt and cheese in particular, and have more onions and garlic. But basically, it's the herb that does the trick. This is a thyroid formula here. It's got formulas within a formulas, but the main formula there inside for your thyroid is called Kanchnar guggulu. This is, of course, from India, and this is the main formula in that formula. There are some other herbs in there too. We put in ashwagandha because that's helping with the stamina and the strength, but mostly it's this Kanchnar guggulu, which is what's breaking up and clearing and improving the function of this thyroid gland. And this is the traditional Indian formulas. You know, if you go to Indian Ayurvedic doctor anywhere in India with hypothyroidism, they're going to give you Kanchnar guggulu with some other type of herbs. You know, I'm just mixing mine with a little ashwagandha to help with the fatigue, and that also works well with the Kanchnar guggulu. But, you know, that type of thing, you shouldn't treat yourself. You know, you should have a good Ayurvedic herbalist who makes a nice formula for you to treat your thyroid condition. And it also depends on how long you've been on thyroid medication. If you've been on thyroid medication, you know, longer than 5 or 6 years, your thyroid gland may not even be working anymore. You may be dependent on your thyroid medication because that's a hormone replacement. You're putting in your body the hormone your thyroid gland is supposed to make. So after a certain amount of time, the body just stops making it. I've had somebody up to 9 years, but she was young. Somebody put her on thyroid medication when she was a teenager. So in her 20s, she wanted off, and it took a while. It took almost a year. But the thyroid gland was apparently working. So that was a good sign. And it took about a year for that thyroid gland to improve. But if you're just in the early stages, your body's not dependent on the medication, a couple of jars of that formula or a custom version. Often I customize it for the people, not take it off the shelf. Then this will unblock the thyroid gland, and your T3, T4, and thyroid hormones will increase, and your metabolism will too over a few months of taking the herb. It's basically a congested gland in your endocrine system. So we clean it right out. Ayurveda has the known cure for it. Here's a few other products for liver, you know. So these are Ayurvedic formulas for liver. This one is particularly good for, you know, it says improving metabolism, cleans the blood, detoxifies the liver, and it's good for a fatty liver. And these liver herbs, by the way, you can see on there, are generally taken all before the meals. So often we'll give somebody a little package like this, like coffee tea in the morning and the day to kind of keep the digestion going. Liver herbs before, sometimes the liver tea, maybe the liver tea or the liver powder. The powder is more effective than the tea, depends on their condition. And then after the meal is the critical one. Like I said, I could be giving you the thyroid herb after the meal. I could give you the cholesterol one after the meal, or a weight loss one after the meal. That after the meal, often I change, and even the liver one before the meal, I change. And then between the meal, we have a lot of Western herbs that are very, very effective in helping with weight loss. We have some here today. I ran out. We only had the bag left, but garcinia fruit. Now, this is the one that Dr. Oz talked about and said it was a great herb for weight loss. He said the best, and to some degree he was correct in this in this manner, I have to admit. And garcinia fruit is sour. It's very sour taste. It's a little fruit. We just didn't have any. It's in the teas that we use, and you can see it's in our weight loss tea here. So let's go through some of these. We have two. This is the weight loss tea. This is suppressing the appetite, increasing metabolism. And you can see the first ingredient is actually elethra, which is a type of ginseng. and Daoren green tea. And that's obviously got caffeine. So this one's going to be stimulating, going to get you going. And then there's the garcinia, first ingredients. And then next is gymania sylvester. In Ayurveda, we call it gumar, and that's for sugar cravings. And then we have a chickweed, fenugreek, cinnamon, ginger, and stevia. So the stevia, the fenugreek, the cinnamon all help with sugar cravings. Ginger is helping with the digestion. And then chickweed, we have chickweed here. Oh, no chickweed. We got, there's the gymania. Got some gymania here. And this is for blood sugar and cravings. So very effective. We use it in bigger doses for blood sugar. See, it's a little bitter. It's not the tastiest tea. But we put a little stevia in there, makes it sweet. And stevia is also good for blood sugar. It's actually even a little stimulating stevia. So this tea, generally just give to people who are heavy, slow, sluggish, have no sleeping problems, no anxiety problems, because it's quite stimulating. But works like a champ. Many people have fasted on it. They said, wow, I said, just drink this tea for one day, the whole day, once a week. It's a great weight loss method. If you're overweight, just fast 1 day a week. That's 52 days in a year you're fasting. Wonderful. And you only have to fast 1 day, like a Sunday. And you can drink the tea all day long, give you energy, and suppress your appetite. I've told that to people to do 1 day. They did 2 days. I told people do it 1 or 2 days on the weekend. They did whole weeks, and they said it was fantastic. Their metabolism was going, their energy was going, and they were losing weight. Now, if you're eating more out of cravings and you have anxiety and poor sleep, you can't take that tea if you have anxiety. So then we have this one. It's called weight control tea. And we change it up a little bit. Lemon balm, which is from the mint family, little relaxing. And chickweed, same as in the other one. This is like a diuretic that's, Western herb used for weight loss. And there's the Garcinia Cambodia again, the Gymania sylvester. And then we also put in Brahmi because it's calming for the mind. And there's the cinnamon, hibiscus, little fennel, and there's stevia. So just for the taste. And so it says helps with cravings and emotional eating and still help you burn fat. So some people, they drink this all day. Other people, I say, take this all day. Weight loss tea kind of keeps you going. You're all wiry and you're not hungry. And then at night, switch over to this one, weight control, so you don't snack at night. Simple. And these are they're like tools. They help you so much. They make everything easier for you. You don't have to struggle so much to starve yourself. If you're drinking the tea, you don't feel hungry and you have energy. There's no point to deprive yourself. If you're really overweight and you have no appetite, you can just do 2 meals a day. You should really, have somebody advise you about what food to eat. It really depends on your digestion, your constitution, and your overall state of health about exactly what foods you should eat. But basically, you want to eat light foods. Instead of a lot of meat, you have a lot of beans or lentils. You don't want to have cold. Cold is blocking and constrictive. So you want to have warm foods, soups, warm spices, things like that. And you don't want to have clogging foods like cheese and dairy. You want to have clearing foods like onions, garlic, hot soup, cinnamon. Yeah. And we don't want to do a lot of dairy. Maybe a little ghee is okay, but definitely not, a lot of animal protein. Okay. And there's no snacking. And we don't want nuts as snacks. We want fruit as snacks. So we're eating light and warm and easy to digest. If you've got a really strong appetite, like I mentioned earlier, the person who is really hungry, then we give them salads and leafy greens because he's hungry. But if you're not that hungry, or you're getting digestive upset from eating salad or gas and bloating, then you just do the soups. Don't think salad is a cure-all for weight loss. I only do it for people who are very hungry and very overweight because it takes a very strong digestion to digest a lot of leafy greens and salads. So here another supplements for weight loss, and often I give this to people in the morning instead of breakfast as a meal replacement. There it is there. We call it kapha superfood. You notice everything I'm showing you says kapha because kapha is the overweight person. And the main ingredient here is spirulina, then alfalfa, which is what my horse is living off of. There's that punarnarava, which is the main herb in all the weight loss formulas. So it's kind of like a weight loss supplement. Little beetroot, ginger, black pepper, pipili, which is a type of long pepper, bladderwhack instead of salt, because that's actually good for the thyroid, little cayenne, a little stevia again. So a tablespoon of this with a little almond milk in the morning, that can be a whole meal. Many people used it as meal replacements. Again, people fasted on it. I know people, my clients who just had this for breakfast, drank the tea all day long, and did that for a week and lost a lot of weight. But not everybody is suitable for this type of fasting. Fasting can be very powerful if you're heavy, overweight, low appetite, and you've really got some real body fat, not just a little belly or a little extra weight on the thighs you're trying to get rid of. And if you're emotional eating, starving yourself is only going to make it worse. So sometimes people are overweight, but because they have so much anxiety and nervousness, I tell them you still got to stick to your 3 meals a day. You just have the weight control tea between the meals to keep you calm and keep the cravings down. So everybody's different. And fenugreek is also quite nice it's in many of these formulas for kapha, but even just fenugreek tea in the morning, we use it for pre-diabetics, helps keeping the blood sugar down, the cravings down. So it really, needs to be customized to the individual. And of course, that's what I do. I'm happy to share my experience. But unless you fall right in that kapha type, who's heavy, slow, sluggish, easy to gain weight with no anxiety and sleeps good and feels heavy after, meals like bread and pasta, that's the kapha type. If you're not right in that category, then you probably have other causes to your weight gain that need to be identified and treated. And often people come on the first appointment and I don't give them any herbs for weight loss because they've already got digestive problems, their bowels aren't moving, they're not sleeping well. So I'll focus on improving the digestion, getting the bowels going, improving the sleep, and see what happens to them in a month. A lot of people say, hey, I'm already losing weight, and I didn't even give them my weight loss herbs yet. I often wait to the second appointment to get rid of some of these causes. And then even then, I may not put all my herbs on weight loss because I want to really focus on the person's liver. So I give them some liver herbs plus some weight loss herbs. And if there's cholesterol, I give them liver herbs plus cholesterol herbs to get this cholesterol, this fatty liver down first. And then maybe later we can give you some weight loss herbs. So, it's very important to see these, identify these causes. In fact, treating weight loss is not difficult. The problem is that, people don't identify the reason for their weight loss. And then what they do is they end up just trying to skip meals, not have any carbs. And now we have these crazy diets where people are just eating meat all day long. People are beating themselves up in the gym. Most of my clients have already done this by the time they've come see me, some type of extreme diet. And these extreme diets are very harmful. They're creating more anxiety in many people's case. We can see some of my many testimonials here. And here's a person saying, the herbs are just what I needed to lose the weight. So the herbs really are like a tool that helps you. Here another person says, I lost 10 pounds since starting the diet with the herbs. Maybe with no herbs, maybe they would have lost only 1 or 2 pounds. So it's really helping you lose the weight much faster. Here's 20 kilos of extra weight this guy lost in Dubai. And he said, when I first started the program, I didn't think the herbs would be that helpful, but I was wrong. Those herbs will let you know exactly how bad you were treating yourself. It might be hard at first, but once you get used to the new lifestyle, you will not be able to go back. That's a very good quote, because once you feel the lightness and the eating right and you have more energy, then you will realize that you have to follow this correct diet. Here's somebody talking about the thyroid formula and how amazingly well it worked. and here's a person 80 pounds in 5 to 6 months, 28 pounds, another 25 pounds, 23 pounds. And there's somebody had a lot of difficulty losing weight, tried everything, and now losing weight. So, this methodology really does work. You just have to, know how to eat right for yourself and eat the foods that are suitable for you. Don't think there's one packaged food. Like I know people, they order some packaged food and they think that's going to be the right food for them. No, you need to understand yourself, or if you have children or a partner, you need to understand them. Don't impose your own beliefs on other people. I mean, I always joke, if you like country music, that's fine. Don't tell me, that country music is the best music. I mean, I have my own musical preferences, things that I prefer. And same with food. Everybody has their own preferences. Whenever I'm giving out a diet, I never make a person eat foods that they don't like. I give them the choice. All these vegetables would be good for you. Which ones you like? And they go, I like most of them, but I don't like this one. Fine, don't eat them. Now, that's a nicer way to have a diet. So everybody that I give a diet to, even those trying to lose weight, say, fine, I like that diet. Let me talk a little bit more about the Kapha diet. It's just while we have a moment here. The Kapha diet is a weight loss diet, of course. And you get a lot of vegetables, but no potatoes and no mushrooms. They're heavy and weight-gaining foods. You get not many vegetables and definitely not sweet vegetables, no bananas, dates, and sweet fruits. You can have apples, apricots, and maybe some dried fruit if your skin's not dried. Not much, little apples mostly. It's the best for weight loss. If you're Kapha, no. And some sour fruits like lemon, water, also good for Kapha. But not good for Pitta. If you're getting acid reflux, you can't do lemon water and apple cider vinegar. And then for grains, that's where it becomes a little tricky. If you're Kapha Prakriti, it means you're Kapha body type. You're not just, a person is not happy with a little extra pounds on the back of your thighs and everybody else thinks you're looking great. No, that's not the category of needing weight loss. That may be just a little more activity, a little better digestion, a little elimination. You don't even have to take any of these weight loss herbs. A lot of women actually are asking me for weight loss herbs, and I said, nope, not going to give you. I'm going to improve your diet, improve your digestion, improve your elimination, and most of the time the belly comes down, a little weight's lost, and they never had to fast or take any type of herbs. So you don't want to just follow these dietary guidelines blindly. This is for the Kapha type of person, not the skinny little Vata nervous type, and not the hot Pitta Prakriti. So when it comes to grains, I know a lot of people are anti-grain, but you need some grains. If you don't have any grains at all, you'll get low in B vitamins, you get more anxious, you get more nervous, and you should never leave out an entire food group like no grains or no fruit or no vegetables. Pretty soon we're probably going to have the no vegetable diet because we've done no to everything else. Only thing left is vegetables, because now people, I notice, are afraid to eat fruit, they're afraid to eat grains, they're afraid to have dairy. Some people are afraid to have meat, some people that can't eat beans. So pretty soon they're going to be no vegetable diet. It's going to be the next one. So you shouldn't do that. You just have to pick the right vegetables for you, the right fruit for you, and the right grains. So if you're overweight and heavy and Kapha and sluggish, you don't want oats and wheat. You don't have to think gluten-free. You can have a little bit, ain't going to hurt you, but you don't want to have pasta and cheese and oats. Oats is a heavy food that definitely puts weight on it. Any pig farmer knows if you feed the pig oats, they put on more weight. And wheat, that's one reason in America we're all freaked out about wheat. It's because we have bad digestion. We can't digest it because we're snacking too much. And second, we know it's a weight gainer. So you have to find an alternative grain. Buckwheat is it's a dry grain. You have to be careful. If you have dry skin and you're not really overweight, don't be doing buckwheat all day. And a millet, also a dry grain that's helping with water retention, swelling, a lot of edema. It takes water out of your body. You have to be careful if you're too dry. but that's a great grain. Buckwheat, millet, even rye, and corn, corn bread, even if it's mixed with a little wheat. Corn is also another dry, good grain for weight loss. And then amaranth and even quinoa would be a better choice. The ones you want to avoid is oats, number one, then wheat, and then number three, not too much rice, and definitely no white rice and no white wheat, white bread. That's out for everybody. So alternative grains. And instead of all the meat and the animal protein, have the beans. So you got your beans and your quinoa. You got your beans and your cornbread. You got your beans and your millet, or even beans and barley. You know, it's nice. Barley's good for inflammation, urinary tract infection. So, you know, if you've got a lot of inflammation in your body, we just do barley vegetable soup with some lentils. It's a nice dish, a nice meal for weight loss. You don't have to starve yourself, but definitely having more legumes. If you have trouble digesting the big beans, navy bean, pinto bean, lima bean, white beans, and peas, those are the gassy ones, and just do the lentils, red lentils, or Indian mung dal, and cook it with some spice, some cumin, coriander, ginger, so you can digest it. Once you flip over to beans and vegetables, if you have a strong digestion, you can have salad. If your digestion's weaker, you just have more soup. And if you have no gas and bloating, the best vegetables for weight loss are the cabbage family, cruciferous, cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, kale. These are the best. Roots being not the least best, like potato and carrots and beets, and they're not good for weight loss. So there you go. Get on the right diet, take your herbs, and come see me in a month. That's it. That's the strategy. Hopefully, you know, you can find some of these herbs here on yourself, or you can do an appointment. I can provide the herbs for you, you know, and then you can follow your diet that you like and you work with it until you naturally lose the weight. I will say that, you know, this webinar is being done in springtime, and spring is the best time to lose weight. It's hard to lose weight in the fall, hard to lose weight in the winter. The body likes to hold on to the fat in the cold season and the cold weather. And then in the spring, you know, as the weather gets warm and a little moist, then it's good time to start doing our spring cleanse, spring detoxification, start your weight loss program. That's why I'm doing this webinar at this time. So you have a chance to start your cleanse right now. So a lot of times helping with weight loss for some people, they can keep eating even fish and chicken and having their regular foods and just do a light cleanse right on top of everything to get the bowels moving, improve the digestion, and they'll lose 5 pounds without anything severe. Mostly what I was talking about people here was at least 30 pounds overweight type of people, where we start really changing the diet and change the grains. If you're just 5 pounds overweight, a lot of what we said here would be too much for you. Probably just improving your digestion, improving your elimination, not snacking at night, having more lentils instead of meat probably will be enough. You have to adjust your protocol or to yourself or the person. If you're a practitioner, you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to be, if the person only has 5 pounds to lose, you don't need to fast them. You don't need to starve them. You don't even need to give them weight loss herbs. You can just change the diet a little bit, get rid of the snacking, the bad habits, improve the digestion, and wait a month. We shouldn't push ourselves. I have a lot of views on weight loss, which you know, I've mentioned in other videos. I have one video that says, you know, do you really need to lose weight? And that's you know, a common where people don't really need to lose weight. They need to improve their digestion. So somebody's asking about legumes, giving them gas. Well, that's, you know, lentils cooked properly, particularly mung beans. Mung beans won't give anybody gas if you have decent digestion. And red lentils are also easy to digest. There are some beans with the skin, like I mentioned, the large beans, pinto, navy, lima, and white beans and peas, which are really gassy, and you can avoid those. But lentils are better. But if you're not overweight, I wouldn't do it anyway. You have to match it to yourself. Don't just think, oh, I'm trying to lose 5 pounds, so I'm going to be all extreme and stop eating all animal protein and only eating beans. It just may not be necessary for you to do that. Unfortunately, a lot of people think they're overweight when they're really not overweight. You should really allow the body to choose the weight. I know, we tend to always want to control our everything, control our kids, control our lives, control our weight. I must be at this weight. I don't feel happy unless I'm 130. Well, we're not that young anymore. I mean, you're not going to be the same weight when you were young. And this concept, I have to be 130, I have to be 120, I have to be this weight or I won't be happy. This is just in your head. What you want to be is healthy. That's what you want to be, not thin. Being thin is not a sign of health. Having a six-pack or is not a sign of health. Having your ribs sticking out and being underweight and depleted is not a sign of health. It may get you a lot of Instagram likes, apparently, but it doesn't mean you're healthy. I mean, every day I'm seeing skinny, underweight women, probably more than I'm seeing overweight people. At least the overweight person, he knows, I got a problem, I'm overweight. But this underweight person, they're trying to, fast, skip meals, and they shouldn't be. They should be eating. They're not overweight. They're underweight. So you get a lot of underweight people, particularly if you're like a model or a stewardess or, where you have a job where your appearance is quite important. These people are starving themselves to keep thin, and they're actually depleting themselves. So you don't want to deplete yourself. I mean, I think we tend to be extreme and deplete ourselves. A lot of people come to me and they've depleted. Even overweight persons have depleted themselves so much. Now they got nutritional problems, they got anxiety, they've got brain fog, they got weakness, all because they've been starving themselves for months and years, fasting, not eating grains, not eating any animal protein, skipping meals, all kinds of crazy fad diets. And now they've created new health problems because of this. There's no need to do that. That's the beauty of the herbs. The herbs, help you cleanse, help you improve your digestion, help your liver, help your metabolism, help you lose weight, and you don't have to kill yourself and starve to death and beat yourself up in the gym. I think most of these testimonials that you're reading on my website, and I have a lot of them, they probably were just walking. Most of the time, I just encourage people to walk. Walk. It's the best exercise. Walk after meals. Walk. Don't take naps in the day. It's enough. You don't have to kill yourself to lose weight. So I hope it helped you. I gave you my best, but feel free to contact me if you feel, you better to get a personalized appointment and let me really get the diet just right for you. And then just mail you the herbs. It's easier. Once you're on the right track, you're good to go. Sometimes I just do 2 appointments for people, and that's it. I don't hear from them for a year. And I say, what happened? And they say, well, I followed your diet. I took the herbs. I stuck to the diet. I just kept losing weight. I never called you back. And now they've lost, their 40, 50 pounds over the year. So you don't want to lose it too fast. You just want to use it gradually. Spring, summer, it's the best time to lose. And really, once again, just to recap here, identify why you want to lose weight, focus on treating those conditions of your reasons why you gain the weight, I should say, and get a diet that works for you and be patient and stick with it. Okay. Well, I hope that helped you out. And I do stay on if you have more questions. Thank you.